So I wanted to go through this today because this was posted by Bengals Wire, and I believe it was posted earlier today. So this is 10 thoughts about the first practice of the Bengals training camp. Now, obviously, this was for yesterday's practice. Today's practice, there isn't much information about it. I know James from Cincinnati Bengals Talk did post a little bit on Twitter, but there isn't too much crazy talk other than the fact that Jamar Chase is not currently practicing. And again, I'll say this a million times. I don't think he's holding out. I don't think he's holding in. Zach Taylor already said in the press conference, I played in my last video, that they have a plan for Chase and for T and for Burrow. Next process, Joe Burrow's not going to throw the ball. And no, it's not because Joe Burrow is, hurt. It's not because Joe Burrow is getting benched. They just are going to throw their backups in and see what their backups can do. And he said that they're trying to get the younger guys more snaps. And it makes sense. You want to get more snaps with the younger guys, with Joe Burrow, to form that chemistry, because you already have great chemistry with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. There's no reason to constantly go back to, trying to perfect that when you want to perfect the chemistry with the younger guys, especially because we're going to go for a deep playoff run this year. You want to have that chemistry starting to form and be formed. I don't think, again, like I said, that Chase in any way is holding out, because Mike Brown has already destroyed every single leverage the Bengals have. I mean, Mike Brown recently came out and said, number one, they'd bend over backwards to get Chase signed. Number two, Chase is going to get signed no matter what. So it's like, if there's any idea that maybe he's holding out because he doesn't think the Bengals going to pay him, Mike Brown literally put on a cheerleading outfit pretty much and walked in with a sign that said, Chase, you're going to get paid. There's no leverage the Bengals have anymore because of Mike Brown. Mike Brown just threw it all out of the window. Because if the Bengals say, we don't know if we want to give you that much money, they can come back and say, well, the owner of the team literally told you that he'd bend over backwards. And last time I checked, bending over backwards means you're going to get paid. Anyway, that's the whole point with Jamar Chase situation. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But anyway, so number one, they said Mike Gesicki, Mike Gesicki, Mike Gesicki. Maybe the name put the fourth and the most on the first day. And actually also put a lot on today as well. And again, not having Chase out there with T as much. T did practice, but it was limited. Having those guys not out there lets them throw the ball more to players like Jermaine Burton, like Mike Gesicki, who he's going to have to utilize a lot this year to be successful. I will give Irv Smith the one credit here that last year with the injury to Joe Burrow in training camp, there was never a chemistry that could get developed with Irv Smith. There is chemistry right now being developed with Mike Gesicki. So this is actually a really huge and awesome thing. And his versatility means more under center looks and the like we're already seeing. So yeah, I mean, you can run different under center looks, have Mike Gesicki go on the outside. There was some blocking, by the way, of Gesicki looking good. Now again, this training camp, first day, who cares? But still, very nice. T. Higgins looks great. What's more interesting is hearing him talk about how he might have played too heavy last year, which could have led to injuries. Now he spent the offseason focusing on his body, which could be a great thing. He also let us know that the reason why he signed his franchise tag is because he wanted to quiet all the noise, and he was tired of hearing all the noise revolved around him not playing for us. The big touchdown at the end of the day belongs to Chase Brown. He's a massive breakout candidate. He is going to be a top 20 running back by the end of this season, top 15. Mark my words. I'm telling you right now, 100%. A one-handed grab by Jermaine Burton. We talked about that in a previous video. Absolutely amazing. Jamar Chase already taking it easy probably isn't a sign of incoming extension when all signs point to that happening in 2025 still. It's pretty interesting, and Justin Jefferson already has his deal. That's another thing. He does have he's still on the contract for the next 2 years. This year, I think his base salary is $1 million. I think he gets up to $9 million total, but his base salary is $1 million. Next year, he has a I believe it is, $25 million fully guaranteed contract, a 5th-year option. Adding on to that, Burrow's effectiveness said that's his business when asked about Chase's approach. So who knows? One of the early themes is letting wideouts prove that they can go in a new spots. Yoshi and others were getting slot reps, letting coach see who can do what. And that's important, especially when it comes to developing these young receivers and being able to utilize them in different ways. At the end of the day, yeah, Tyler Boyd's gone, right? And T's going to be here this year. So these guys are going to have to get reps in different positions, different packages, see what we can utilize them with. These anticipated under center looks that they wanted to break in last year are out in full force already. Burrow lined up like that on Brown's big touchdown run, even. Anthony, our safety rookie, had his first pick of camp. That safety depth slot could be more competitive than anticipated. Yeah, the safety depth spot is very interesting. For free safety, behind Geno Stone, you have Tyson Anderson, who's really good on special teams. Obviously, dealt with injuries in his early career so far, but, I think he'll be fine. Anthony is a long shot to make the 53-man roster, I feel like, just because what Tyson Anderson does bring to special teams. And again, with other spots, you're going to want to carry a couple extra players. But it doesn't mean that he can't make the roster. It's very possible he could, especially if he does look good in special teams in preseason. Anthony's really going to come down to, in my opinion, to preseason, see how good he plays and how he does on special teams in preseason. If he goes out there and kicks butt and does amazing, then yeah, it's very possible that he could earn himself the starting, not the starting job, but the backup job, rotational job for the safety position. Trent Brown is on the NFL with tightness for now. Hard to imagine the veteran falls behind the rookie Maris Manzi, who misses time during the first week, but it doesn't hurt the first rounder to get the reps. And yes, Maris Mims, as I said before in the video, they're giving him every possible chance to, to pretty much win the starting job, because they want him to go into this training camp with the mentality of you're fighting to become the starter, because that's going to make him as good of a player as possible, because he realizes, hey, look, I got to compete, right? I'm not just going to be given this. I have to compete for the starting role. It's the same thing he did at Georgia. So I'm excited to see how he blossomed, developed through training camp. Again, he's another guy that I'm really looking forward to preseason-wise, seeing how he plays against competition and protects for Joe and protects for Jake Browning and, of course, Rocky Lombardi. So, overall-wise, good first 2 days of training camp. Still some things we got to work on, perfect, but tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one.